The latest net migration figures come as the German Chancellor Angela Merkel was in London telling Parliament she can't promise fundamental reform of the EU. Mrs Merkel made it clear that she wants Britain to remain a strong voice in Europe. Our political editor Nick Robinson reports.
They treated her like the Queen of Europe in Parliament today. The Prime Minister believes Angela Merkel holds the key to his dream of forging a new relationship with the EU. His allies briefed that today she'd show she was on his side.
I've been told many times during the last few days that there are very special expectations of my speech here today.
Looking on, ever so nervously, the men who know that her intentions will form the backdrop to their election campaigns.
Some expect my speech to pave the way for a fundamental reform of the European architecture, which will satisfy all kinds of alleged or actual British wishes. I'm afraid they are in for a disappointment.
She would, she swiftly added, also dash the hopes of those who thought she'd rule out change. Switching to German, there was plenty of talk of reform, but no promise to change Europe's treaties, none to give powers back to Britain.
We need a strong United Kingdom with a strong voice inside the European Union. If we have that, we will be able to make the necessary changes for the benefit of all.
Left unstated at the end of a well-received speech, what exactly those necessary changes are. What the Prime Minister knows is that on his own, he can change nothing in Europe. It takes the votes of 27 other leaders. Some, of course, matter rather more than others, which is why Germany's Chancellor got the red carpet treatment today. Angela Merkel has the power to make or break David Cameron's dream of reshaping the European Union. She said nothing today to convince his sceptics that Germany is really on his side. After lunchtime talks, David Cameron joked and teased and flirted with the woman, who his aides claim sees him as like her naughty nephew. They were, he insisted, at one.
Angela and I both want to see change in Europe. We both believe that change is possible. And I believe that what I'm setting out, the sort of changes that Britain wants to see to build confidence in our membership of this organisation, are possible and deliverable and doable.
On cutting red tape and tackling so-called benefit tourism, she signalled her agreement with Britain. As for everything else, it would require old-fashioned European compromise.
It's not a piece of cake. It's going to be a lot of work. But we've already worked quite hard on other issues. If one wants Britain to remain in the European Union, which is what I want, if one at the same time wants a competitive union that generates growth, one can find common solutions.
Who she'll negotiate those with is, of course, still a matter for the British electorate. Hence the talks with the man who may become Prime Minister Miliband.
Today has confirmed that David Cameron's approach to Europe just isn't working. Chancellor Merkel will leave the United Kingdom with the gap between what she's offering and what Eurosceptic backbenchers are demanding as wide as ever.
Angela Merkel's last stop was with the woman who she insisted was the only queen in town today. She'd worn royal blue in her honour. As Europe's most powerful leader headed home, we were all left to ask, are we actually any clearer about what exactly she might agree to do?
Well, Nick is in Westminster for us now. So, has David Cameron actually got anything from this visit?
Well, it depends which Angela Merkel you listen to. If you're the one that listens to her saying no fundamental change, then you will be, as she said, disappointed. If you think you want powers back, if you want treaties torn up and rewritten, you'll be very disappointed. If, on the other hand, like the Prime Minister, you say, well, I heard Europe's most powerful leader say change was doable. Where there's a will, there's a way. You'll be rather happier. What she was clear about is any change only comes about when all European countries and their leaders agree. The best bit of news she had for David Cameron was that offer to change the rules on freedom of movement. That was a principle, she said, but benefit tourism certainly wasn't. We still don't know how that'll change. But if you want more than that from a change in Europe, she made it pretty clear, you'll probably have to get out.
Nick, thank you very much.